There's one song I find that challenges the picking hand like no other. That song, of course, is Violate by Iced Earth. This total headbanger relies heavily on the gallop riff, which is a key staple in thrash metal. So if you're looking to use that technique and apply it to a real-world song, Violate is a perfect way to do so. In this lesson, I'm going to show you step by step how to play the thrashiest riffs in this song. You'll learn how to play the gallop riff, which transitions to a fast downpicking pattern, which I'll also show you. Get ready for an intense workout for the picking hand, and stay tuned because later on in this video, I'll be giving away a super sweet bonus and you're not going to want to miss out on it. So grab your axe, take a seat, and let's get ready to rock. First things first, I'm going to quickly go over my tone setup and walk you briefly through my signal chain. So I've got my guitar, which is plugged into my interface, which is then plugged into my computer. But the software I'm using, Reaper, is my digital audio workstation, and that's responsible for housing a digital amp simulator. So for this, I'm using a free little library you can find at IK Multimedia, and it is their ToneX plugin. And this is super sweet because it gives you a bunch of different amplifier options, even in the free version. And so I selected this, I guess you'd call it a preset. It's the Power Scooped version, and it is a high gain amplifier that sort of mimics an Angle Powerball 2. I find that this selection works really nicely with the thrashy nature of this song I'm going to show you. And if you're into this kind of stuff, I want to give you something extra that'll help you get super sweet tones out of your amp. It's my Elite Tones cheat sheet, and it's a completely free tool that'll help you dial in amp sounds so that way you get the tones that you love. So if you struggle with this kind of thing, if you're, like, I don't know how to dial in an amp and get it to sound good, you're definitely going to want to check this out. And if you're into amp simulators like the one I just showed you, this resource also includes direct links to some of my favorite free amp sim plugins. It even gives you some hacks on how to make those digital amp simulators sound like authentic physical amplifiers. So I put a link for this free resource in the description, and you can also download it at zacksharguitar.com. So once you've hooked yourself up with some killer tones, you're going to need to know that this song is tuned to E flat. So it's a half a step down from E standard tuning. You might also see this tuning listed as D sharp, so I'm going to quickly run through those notes in this tuning. From the highest strings up to the lowest strings, we're going to start with the high D sharp string. Then we've got A sharp. From there we've got F sharp. Then we've got C sharp. Then G sharp. And then D sharp, the low D sharp. And just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to be referring to the string names by their standard tuning names because most players seem to identify those strings by their standard tuning names, even if they're not playing in E standard tuning. So the first thrashy banger riff starts out with a power chord beginning on fret 1 of the low E string, and then of course fret 3 of the A and D strings. That's hit for an 8th note connected to another 8th note, which is a power chord where you just play the open E string and then fret 2 of the A and D strings. So you sort of slide into the second chord from the first by pivoting down with your index finger to bar those strings on the second fret. And in a way, you're kind of subtly pulling off with your index finger when you're playing the first chord, and you're only strumming the first chord. It's really, you know, you're not playing it with a down pick on both chords. Like, it looks more like this. From there, we have the gallop rhythm, which continues to the end of that measure and entirely through the second measure. So we'll have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gallops on the low E string, and we're gonna palm mute all those galloped notes. And what I mean by that is those are the 3 notes, which are 2 16th notes connected to an 8th note. And if you're having a hard time with the gallop rhythm, you should totally check out a video I made a little while ago that goes into greater detail on how to pull this off if it's something that's challenging for you. So here's what the first 2 measures are gonna sound like, going from the power chords to the gallops. Then you're going to repeat the first measure one more time. So you've got those power chords, and then you're going to finish it off with 3 gallops on the open low E string. From there, you're going to play a 16th note grouping of 4 16th notes by playing fret 3 of the low E string. And then you're going to immediately play a quarter note, which is fret 1 of that same string. And you're going to play that whole sequence twice. So it'll look and sound like this. And that's basically the extent of riff 1 of this lesson. Play it with me slowly from the top if you can. All right, we're in the final stretch, okay? I think it's important to be able to at least play both of these riffs in this song. There's a few other ones in there, but these riffs will really help you develop your picking hand skills. The first section we just covered will help a lot with the gallop pattern, which is an essential technique you're gonna need to know when playing heavy music. And the second one will really help you with your fast down picking. So we're gonna start with a power chord, again, like we've seen already so far, but it's gonna be the open low E string followed by fret 2 of the A and D strings. It's gonna be a quarter note. Then we're gonna palm mute the low E string for 2 chugs that are 8th notes. Then we're going to play this, it's pretty much like a major third interval by playing fret 3 of the low E string and fret 2 of the A string. So we have, and then we're going to hit that chug again for 2 8th notes on the low E string before shifting our position down a half step. So now we're in the fret 2 zone on the low E string and fret 1 on the A string. So at this point, the only palm muting we've done in this riff was on those lower E string chugs that connected our little power chord and dyads together. So now we're just going to chug on this little major third interval we've got here on fret 2 of the low E string and fret 1 of the A string. And we're going to play that for 6 8th notes. And we're palm muting when we do so. So we have this. And then that pretty much just repeats, I want to say 4 times. And then you're good to go. So we're going to play this section slowly. And then we're going to connect both riffs up to speed. So play along with me if you can. Now you know how to play some epic riffs found in a criminally underrated thrash song. By learning this song, you develop some incredibly useful rhythm techniques, and you'll likely find that it gives your picking hand quite a workout. Once you've got this song down, you'll have a blast playing it up to speed, plus it just sounds downright mean. Start slowly with this if you have to, and stick in so that way you're banging your head along to it in no time. You got this. And don't forget to download my free Elite Tones cheat sheet if you have not done so already. It gives you my best tips on how to dial in killer amp tones, and it also shows you how to make digital amp simulators sound like authentic physical amplifiers. It even includes direct links to some of my favorite free amp sim plugins. So just click the link in the description or go to zachsharguitar.com and download this awesome free resource. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Zach with Zach Shar Guitar. God bless, and I will see you in the next one.